Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network. Today we're going to unpack a really fascinating and strategically crucial development. The headline that caught our eye is this: Denmark just bought 4 U.S.-made SkyGuardian drones. Here's why the Arctic is suddenly a hotspot for NATO surveillance. So for you, our listener, what we want to do today is really explore this Danish acquisition. We'll look at the capabilities, what these drones actually bring to the table, and the unique challenges. Operating in the Arctic can't be easy. And maybe most importantly, why has this sort of frozen region suddenly become such a focus point for NATO's defense?
Yeah, it's actually quite remarkable. You see how one single decision, Denmark buying these drones, it really shines a light on a much bigger geopolitical shift, especially in a place most people think of as, well, pretty remote and quiet. So we'll connect the dots for you using our sources to show the strategic implications. We're talking maritime security, international cooperation. It's all changing up there.
Okay, let's really dig into this then. Most people, when they think Arctic, they picture ice, maybe polar bears, just, vast empty space. But now it's being called a hotspot for NATO surveillance. Why? What's changed to make this frozen area so important strategically right now?
Well, if you step back and look at the bigger picture, the Arctic region is definitely getting huge importance for NATO. And that's primarily because of Russia's growing presence and activities. It's really ramped up. We're not just talking about potential resources or shipping routes anymore. It's really about their military footprint expanding.
Right, expanding how? Are there specific examples?
Absolutely. They've been reopening old Soviet-era bases, upgrading them significantly. Think airfields that can now handle modern jets, long-range bombers, plus new ice-capable warships, more large-scale military drills, often without much warning. It's a very different posture than, say, 10 years ago.
And our sources mentioned a specific example of this Russian LNG tanker, the Alexei Kosygin. How does a commercial ship fit into this military picture?
That's a great point. So this tanker, the Alexei Kosygin, which, by the way, is under U.S. sanctions, it's expected to start operating maybe late 2025 for Russia's Arctic LNG 2 project. Now, while it is commercial, its operation highlights just how much activity, both commercial and strategic, is increasing. An ice-class tanker like this can navigate the Northern Sea route, often without icebreaker help. This kind of capability, this infrastructure, it all demands much better surveillance. You need to know what's moving through those waters.
I imagine surveillance there is uniquely difficult.
Oh, incredibly difficult. The sheer scale is one thing. We're talking millions of square miles. Then you have the harsh weather, the long periods of darkness, ice cover. Traditional methods like ship patrols or even manned aircraft just can't provide constant coverage. So yeah, how do you effectively monitor such a vast, challenging place? That's the key question.
Okay, so that leads us back to Denmark. Facing this changing Arctic, what are they doing specifically? What's their response?
Well, their response is quite significant. They've moved to acquire 4 MQ-9B SkyGuardian drones. These are very sophisticated machines from General Atomics in the U.S. And what's really interesting is how they bought them. It wasn't just Denmark writing a check to General Atomics. Their procurement agency, DALO, the Danish Defense Acquisition and Logistics Organization, did it through NATO Support and Procurement Agency, NSPA.
NSPA, so this is more of a NATO-level thing.
Exactly. NSPA is like NATO's collective buying agent. It helps member states get complex kit like this more efficiently, and importantly, it helps ensure these systems can work together, interoperability across the alliance. So yes, it points to a coordinated multilateral NATO approach.
That collaborative angle is definitely interesting. So when do these new eyes in the sky actually arrive? What's the timeline?
The delivery is expected between 2028 and 2029.
That seems quite a way off.
It does, but it's pretty standard for acquiring and integrating such advanced systems. It's not just delivery day. After they arrive, they have to go through a whole certification process. That's crucial. It ensures they can legally and safely fly in national airspace, international airspace, integrate with air traffic control. It's a complex process.
Okay, 2028, 2029, and where will they be flying? Just the Arctic or other areas too?
Well, the Arctic is definitely the primary focus. Enhancing surveillance there is key. But Dalo also mentioned the North Atlantic and the Baltic Sea region as important operational areas. And that makes sense. The North Atlantic is vital for transit, including Russian naval movements, and the Baltic is, well, a very crowded and strategically sensitive sea. So these drones will give Denmark eyes on multiple crucial maritime zones.
You mentioned the challenges earlier, the vastness, the environment. Operating drones there must be incredibly tough. Let's talk about the coal specifically. That must be a huge factor.
Absolutely. The extreme cold is a major hurdle. It can hammer battery life, making missions shorter. It can degrade how well sensors work. Even things like GPS signals can be less reliable in polar regions sometimes. And then there's icing. Ice building up on the wings, the sensors, that's a big danger for any aircraft. Getting good eyes in the sky there requires specialized gear.
So how does the MQ-9B SkyGuardian actually cope with that? Is it genuinely Arctic ready, or is it just sort of okay in the cold?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Can it really handle it? According to General Atomics, a spokesman, C. Mark Brinkley, confirmed the MQ-9B is specifically designed, tested, and certified for extreme cold. They routinely fly incredibly high, over 40,000 feet.
40,000 feet, yeah.
And up there, temperatures are routinely hitting -40, even down to -70 Fahrenheit. That's -40 to below -56 Celsius. So they're built with that in mind. They have things like anti-icing systems, de-icing systems on crucial parts. They use special lubricants that don't freeze up. Robust power systems are engineered for it.
And what about the surveillance gear itself? Does that work well in those conditions? Seeing through fog or bad weather?
That's key for maritime surveillance, especially in the Arctic where weather can change fast. These SkyGuardians carry advanced radar systems like the SeaSpray. It's designed to detect small targets, think small boats, even submarine periscopes over large areas, even through fog and clouds. That capability, seeing through bad weather, is vital for providing consistent awareness in a place like the Arctic. It gives them a huge advantage over systems hampered by weather.
You mentioned earlier this purchase involved NATO's NSPA and Delos stressed cooperation with allies. Why is working together so important with this kind of tech?
Well, it's crucial for several reasons. First, sharing knowledge and expertise. Operating and maintaining these advanced drones isn't simple. Cooperating means access to common pools of knowledge, maybe shared training programs, potentially even joint maintenance hubs down the line. Using NSPA also promotes interoperability, making sure Danish drones can share data seamlessly with, say, Norwegian or Canadian assets or NATO command. It makes the whole alliance stronger and more efficient. It avoids each nation reinventing the wheel, and it ensures everyone's working from a more unified playbook.
And is this a wider trend? Are other Arctic nations in NATO also looking at these kinds of long-range drones?
Yes, it definitely seems to be part of a broader trend. What's quite interesting is that neighboring Norway, another key NATO member with major Arctic interests, is also looking seriously at long-range maritime drones. The MQ-9B SkyGuardian is one they're considering.
The same one Denmark bought.
Exactly, but they're also looking at Northrop Grumman's MQ-4C Triton. The Triton is even bigger, flies higher, stays up longer, more focused on very wide area surveillance over the ocean. So the fact that both Denmark and Norway are moving in this direction, looking at similar high-end drone technology, it really signals a regional push among NATO allies to significantly boost their surveillance capabilities in the north. There's a shared recognition of the challenge.
Okay, so pulling this all together,
Sure.
what's the main takeaway for you, our listener? Denmark buying these SkyGuardians is clearly more than just a military purchase, right?
Absolutely. It's a really pivotal move. It shows Denmark taking a proactive, very modern approach to the changing security situation, especially in the Arctic, but also the North Atlantic and Baltic. It highlights this strategic shift towards using advanced unmanned systems for persistent surveillance in these really critical, really tough environments.
So maybe the final thought to leave people with is about the future.
Yeah, I think the question becomes, as this technology keeps getting better, and as geopolitical focus on places like the Arctic keeps increasing, how will these long-range eyes in the sky continue to change defense strategy? And how will it impact international cooperation or maybe competition? Think about how having this kind of persistent advanced surveillance fundamentally alters things like situational awareness, deterrence. What presence even means in these vast remote areas. It's reshaping things in real time.
That's a fascinating point to ponder. Thank you for walking us through that complex picture. And thank you all for your time and participation in this discussion here on the Global WarWatch Network. If you found this useful, please do like, share, and subscribe to the Global WarWatch Network for more analyses like this one. We'd also love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comment section below. And you can join us on social media. All the links are right there in the description. We really look forward to hearing your insights. Thanks again for tuning in.